Good morning, Facebook, and I'm not wearing these silly shades for nothing. It's part of this week's social media news. Yes, I missed it last week. I wasn't here. I was in Tato Park, but Snapchat spectacles are here, and this is a genuine pair. No, it's not. I'm not going to do the entire Facebook Live wearing my fantastic Snap spectacles, but I shall be doing some of it. Welcome to this week's social media digital marketing news you need to know from Spiderworking. If you enjoyed this broadcast, I would love it if you could share it. So click the share button below. Anyone that you know that would like it, tell them about it. I can see someone has joined us. I can't see my comments. This is kind of weird. I don't know how to make slight left. I always get... Am I still here? The Technicat, right, there we go. Now, hey Kate, I can see the comments at last. Do you like my very, very unofficial Snapchat spectacles? You know, even putting these on this morning, whew, that feels weird, made me feel like it was summer. I've also forgotten to switch my light on, so bear with me. I have a ton of news for you this morning. I feel like I should have kept the spectacles on because there's people arriving, maybe when we get to that section. I spent a long time drawing this last night. It's quite a therapeutic thing to do, and I'm quite pleased with my drawing. We've got a ton of Facebook news. We've got Facebook Live news. We've got Messenger news. We've got a couple of bits of Twitter news. For the first time ever, that's the Foursquare logo. And when I was drawing that, I was blown away by what a great logo that is. I don't know, it looks like an F. If it was flipped around, I should have drawn it backwards. And it also looks like a place pin, which is essentially what Foursquare is. Then we've got some Snapchat news. We've got a cool tool. We've got Instagram news, 2 bits of Instagram news. We've got some LinkedIn news. And I think that's it. So I can see some of us has joined. I feel like putting the spectacles back on again, but you have to wait to see my totally unofficial Snapchat spectacles. So I can see we've got Kate here. Who else is there and what are you drinking? This is the digital coffee. I am drinking tea. Hi Sinead, thanks for joining. And it's in my very, very cool Doctor Who mug. Let me know what you have. Okay, on to the digital marketing news that matters this week. Let's have a look at what's on the notes. First up, I am not going to Earl Grey tea. Oh, very posh. Very Jean-Luc Picard. What's on the... Can somebody tell me, is my whole head in shot? Because they kind of changed the way that live works and I can't really see which bit of me you can see. That's probably better. Is it? Is it? Can you see my head? Is there a lot of headroom? Is there too much headroom? Am I in the middle of the screen? Am I portrait? I guess I'll find out when I play it back. I am not going to talk long. My head's in shot. Oh, hi Ken, thanks for joining. I am not going to talk. You can see all of me, all of me. I'm not going to talk about Facebook's fake news problem much. Good, I'm glad all of you can see me. That's fantastic. There has been obviously a problem with fake news. Facebook is getting the blame for the election. I didn't get to talk about the election much. I'm kind of glad. I may have said something out of place last week. But Facebook's getting the blame amongst other people because they've been putting out, well they haven't, people have been putting out fake news stories in the newsfeed about Hillary Clinton. They weren't interested in politics. The people that were doing this were clickbait. Basically it was clickbait about fake stories about Hillary Clinton, driving people to their website so that they could monetize it. It's kind of smart from the point of view of the people that were doing it. You have to have some sneaky admiration. Hopefully it didn't have any effect on the election, depending how you see that. I am not going to talk about that. No, I am going to talk about something far more important for business, which was Facebook have for the second time been caught misreporting metrics. So recently they were talking about video views that you got and there was a problem with the way they were reporting that. 3 new ways they've been misreporting. Some of it good news, some of it not so good news. So the first one is This is what they've been misreporting organically. If you go into your Facebook Insights and look at the top, it tells you an engagement rate there, how many people have engaged with your post and how many people I think you've reached with your posts. Since May, they have been over-reporting how many people you've reached on Facebook. Over-reporting. Over-reporting. So you know when 5 people see your Facebook post? In fact, it was probably 2.5 technically, because we think they've doubled it by accident. Not good news, but the good news is that everywhere else they're reporting reach. So if you go in and you look at your reach stat in your Insights dashboard, that is accurate. Everywhere else they're reporting reach is accurate. It's just one statistic there. I will link to it underneath when we finish this. The second thing is that video completion rate was underreported. So it will tell you how many people watch your video to the end. And what was happening, according to Facebook, is sometimes, depending on the device they were watching it on, there'd be a millisecond of extra sound after the video had completed, or vice versa. So what was happening was they were reporting that the video hadn't been finished because they switched it off when the video finished, and there was this tiny snippet of video or sound at the end. So they were under-reporting that. So that's kind of good news. More people are watching your videos all the way through than you thought. Instant articles, I still haven't got my head around those. I need to fix loads of things on my website and it's painful. But they've been over-reporting the amount of time that people have spent on instant articles. Over-reporting, Sinead, yes, I share your sad face. Over-reporting the amount of time that people have spent on instant articles, which I don't know why I didn't go into the why, but that seems like a big one, because obviously this is a product they're trying to sell and people would have been jumping on the platform because people were spending such a long time there. So that's kind of a really bad one. We have to hope that this was an accident by Facebook and it wasn't a deliberate move. One thing that nobody's talking about that is hidden at the bottom of this blog post that I'm going to link to from Facebook is that they have discontinued interest lists. Does anyone know what an interest list is? If you're not putting your hand up right now, you're not alone. They have discontinued interest lists because we're not using them. And that's kind of sad because I do have interest lists. Morning, Lottie, good to see you. I know you've missed what Facebook have done. You'll have to replay to find out more. Interest lists are kind of, they came out prior actually to Google+, but they honed them when they came out on Google+. And what they did was you could put a number of pages revolving around a specific topic into an interest list, and then you could filter your feed just to see the stuff from those interest lists. So yes, exactly, Lottie, that's the problem. People don't know what interest lists are, so Facebook have discontinued them. I admittedly haven't looked at my interest lists in a long time. But yes, Ken, they were a really, really handy thing to have. So I don't know if they've gone yet or if they're just phasing them out, but it's kind of sad, sad day. And that for me was the worst bit of news that came out of that blog post that everyone's talking about, the misreporting stats. I'm wondering if they deliberately hid it in that blog post so there wouldn't be outrage from people like myself and Ken. Okay, on to news from Facebook. Number 2, and you've probably seen this. This was all over my newsfeed when it happened. That is the Facebook Messenger symbol, which I'm sure you're very, very familiar with. Last week, I did a presentation for Fulshire Island with Lorna Sixsmith. And one of the slides, the last slide we did, was predictions for the future. And I said 2 things. I wish I had it so I could prove it to you, but I can't show you on this. I said that Instagram was going to be integrated more with Facebook in the future, and that they'd fix the messaging so that they had some sort of messenger system, or they'd integrate it with Facebook Messenger. And what did they do this week? It's almost like I told them to do it. They made an integrated inbox. So now if you've got a business page, an Instagram business account, it'll all integrate into Facebook Messenger. So everything in one place, which makes sense, of course. And also because messaging is really, really clunky on Instagram, it kind of makes sense. But every time that I'm reminded that Facebook own Instagram, I get a little bit sad. I'm going to give this bit of news a thumbs up. I think this is good for business. I don't think the regular consumer will notice, so yay. I was going to say yay Facebook, but no, they're not getting a yay Facebook from me. No, no, no. Oh, the next one is really interesting. Twitter. See my little Tweety bird there? Twitter have launched QR codes for users. And this means, like Snapchat, you'll be able to show people your QR code, because that's essentially what the boo-R code is. That's what they call it on Snapchat is. You can scan it on your phone, go through to a user, and you can follow them then. I kind of like the idea of this. It does. I like that QR codes finally have a purpose in life. I like what they do on Snapchat with this. And the article I read about this, the article I'm actually going to link to, the guy, Andrew, is giving out. He's saying, like, this is just, what's the point of this? I don't see why we do this. I kind of see it. He was talking about sharing your QR code on Twitter. Now, why would you do that? Because it's very easy just to click the like button on Twitter. But if I wanted people to follow me on Twitter on another network, I could go and post it there. I could turn it into my profile picture on Facebook. I could, you know, just to gather more followers. I like it. I think they're looking at what the trends are. I think it's kind of cool. And I took some screen grabs and flipped them, so you should be able to see them the right way round. If you want this, it's only available on mobile. So go into your mobile, click on the, from your home page on mobile, click on the little cog at the top that brings you into your settings menu. And this is what you'll see, and see QR code. I'm told that this hasn't been rolled out fully yet, but I had it straight away. So I'm imagining it is in Ireland, it is in the UK, so that's good. And when you click on that QR code, you can't customize it like you can your Snapchat one, which has always been one of my favorite things about the Snapchat code, but it brings up a code. And this is my one. If you're on a phone, you could snap that now, see if it works later on. So I do kind of like that. The one thing that confuses me is, okay, my one's red. I thought they were all red, but I've seen purple ones now as well. So they're multicoloured QR codes. But why the multicoloured? It doesn't fit Twitter's branding. If Twitter were a small business and they came out with this, I'd be saying to them, why the red? Why haven't you gone in your brand colours? If anyone can explain that to me, do. I do think it's a move forward. I think it's, they've got a little tweet. I was going to say they haven't customised it much, but look, it's a little Tweety bird in the corner. It is kind of cool. So, will I go thumbs up? Give me a thumbs up if you think it's a good thing. And you can't give me a thumbs down. Give me a something else, a heart, if you think it's a bad thing. Yeah, it is a shame, Sinead, that the profile picture is so small. 2 people gave me a smiley face, so they're not mad about it, and one person gave me a thumbs up. I'm giving it a thumbs up, but you're giving it a thumbs down. Yeah, I think they might need to redesign it. I'd say if it's popular. Oh, angry faces. People really don't like this. Tell me why. Tell me why you don't like it. I'm really interested. I'll wait for that to come in because you'll need to type for a little while, and we'll look at what's next on the news. I really should bring just this, my prop stand, a little bit closer to me so I don't have to keep turning my back. Oh, yes. If you remember, if you were on my last Facebook Live, you remember we talked about Twitter mute. This is my Twitter mute button. And we were really excited. What's the point, Kate? Because you could get people from other networks to follow you on Twitter. Like on Snapchat, the way those snap codes are everywhere. Remember, Facebook introduced something like this as well. They introduced that thing for Messenger. I never got the point of that one. But I guess they're trying to get more people to interact and follow people on Twitter, and this is one thing that they're doing, and they're probably trying to tap into that youth market that they briefly had. They had them for a very small amount of time, and as more oldies like me go on Snapchat, we're imagining that the youth market will be looking for something else, and I suppose Twitter want a bit of that action. That would be my guess. Twitter mute. We were really excited last time about Twitter mute. We thought we were going to be able to mute because they just accidentally launched it early and took it away again. We thought we were going to be able to mute topics from our news feed. Do people really? Of course they do. That's how you follow people on Snapchat. Kate, that's how you follow people on Snapchat. I guess it depends on your, hi Emma, thanks for joining. I guess it really depends on your own personal preference. I definitely scan them. You don't have to go into a QR scanner, you just go into Twitter to scan it. It's not like you have to have another app. I think it works well on Snapchat. That's how I follow people on Snapchat. I couldn't be bothered to type everything in with my fat fingers, so I'm guessing it will work on Twitter. Twitter mute, back to Twitter mute. Twitter mute was supposed to be a, what we thought it was going to be was you'd be able to mute topics like football, Donald Trump, whatever it is, out of your Twitter feed. And that would have been great. I was giving Twitter a massive thumbs up for that one. And why? Because this is a feature that we've wanted for a long time. But sadly, that's not what mute is. In fact, this story made the mainstream news this week, so you're probably aware of what mute actually turned out to be. We can filter specific words, not from our feed, but from our notifications. So it is an anti-trolling, an anti-nastiness filter that you can put on your notifications. If you find you're getting a lot of abuse, you're able to filter that out just by removing specific words. They say it's to hold back the negativity. I think people are just going to find more creative ways to insult each other. Just to read from Twitter, they say, and the reason they're doing this is that people will make a complaint that somebody's abusing them, and then a human being has to go and work that out. This way you can choose your own words that you want to mute. A bit like on your Facebook business page, you can do that. Their reason is not everyone has the same cultural background or framework to even be able to recognise why certain types of content of certain phrases or the like are actually abusive. A lot of times we found that whoever got the initial report didn't have the background to understand what the content was actually referencing. So pretty much creative insults, why bother when staying positive is so much nicer? Absolutely. And you know, there is a lot of positivity on Twitter. It gets a hard time, but there is a lot of wonderful people on Twitter. So that's interesting because Snapchat released something recently as well, which you could mute specific words. We've talked about it before with Taylor Swift and the snake, so she may be able to filter out mentions of her if she uses Twitter. Does she use Twitter? You've already seen people putting spaces between letters to get around the mute. You see, it's like that thing with computer viruses, isn't it? As soon as you manage to block a virus, they'll come up with a new one. Or not just computer viruses, even real life viruses. If you do it, they'll counteract it as quickly as they can, and then you just have to go and up your muted words. Oh no. I wanted to say I don't get abuse on Twitter, but I'm kind of scared of saying that in case it actually happens. So that's Twitter mute. The next one is interesting if you are into your geo filters on Snapchat. I don't know, because I haven't been a massive snapper recently. I don't know if they've introduced promoted geo filters in Ireland yet. And I heard that in Ireland, per capita, we are the most snappers in the world. I heard that at a briefing I was at the other day. So I'm very surprised if they haven't rolled out those filters so that we can buy a filter for our event in Ireland yet. However, those filters are about to get better because at the moment they know your rough location. So you can't pinpoint where you are exactly. And that's why the lovely Foursquare logo is on my board today. Because they have partnered with Foursquare, and now there's the postman. No, we're safe. And now they can get very, very specific down to the building that you're in, which means you will be able to, instead of creating a wide geo filter, you'll be able to create a geo filter for where you are. So it could be the spider working offices, for example. I think that's kind of cool. I'm giving that a thumbs up. Who else wants to give it a thumbs up? Kate? Something to make somebody happy today. I think this is really good news. It's going to be great for business as well, so it's good all round. Ooh. Now this one. Thank you, Kate. I've made you happy at last. I'm so happy. Hey, Lorna, thanks for joining in. Okay, so the next bit is really interesting. Now, Lottie's here. So I'm thinking Lottie is going to be with me on this one. When you make a video, which way round do you hold the video camera? Do you hold it this way round? Or do you hold it this way round? Or your phone? I say video camera like that's a thing anymore. This way round, portrait, or this way round? Now I am a filmmaker. That's what I used to do. That's what I studied in school, college. I was going to say school and college. That's what I did for 10 years of my life when I arrived to Ireland. But these days, and I'm blaming Snapchat, everyone does this. No! When you watch it, okay, I'm just going to have a rant about this, but it's actually fine to put it that way round. But when you watch the telly at home, do you go and do you turn your telly this way round? When you go to the cinema, do you put it this way round? Do you go and look at your... No. No, because the way round that a video is supposed to go is this way. As Lottie quite says, rightly says, landscape, landscape, landscape. But you know what? It's fine because we're in the internet age, things change. And vertical video is a thing. Totally blaming Snapchat for it, but that's this week's bit of news from Instagram. Instagram are now adding a feature. I've lost my place because I was squiggling this around so much. There's a big no all the way across the screen underneath it. Vertical format video ads. Now they're not as bad. Blimmin' portrait is only for stills. Oh, stills. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You see, even the term stills has gone out of my head. That's still photography for anyone under 20 here. I don't know. I don't know if I could. Will I try, Lottie? Lottie has just asked, for those of you that are watching later, you're showing with black stripes on the sides now, not square. Have Facebook gone back on this? Can we use landscape? Tell me what happens. I'll just do a little dance and wait, and you can tell me, am I just upside down now, or am I in portrait frame or landscape frame? Okay, this is going to be the embarrassing bit that I want to cut out later. I seem to, it didn't work. Maybe if I'd started it that way, maybe if I start the Facebook way, landscape, that would work. Interesting. Okay, so Instagram are adding vertical video ad types. You're sideways but far better framed. Okay, on my side. I hope you enjoyed my dance. This is only 4:5 ratio, so it's slightly longer than it is wide. It's almost a square. It's not that bad. I'll let Instagram off, but if they start letting that creep down to the full vertical, I won't be happy. We already do it, of course, on Instagram stories. This one is about LinkedIn. LinkedIn, which is doing more and more. I think it's because of Microsoft. They started implementing some of the cool things they should be doing. So there's LinkedIn. And one of the things they're doing now is they're calling it Audience Insights. And I got really excited about this because I really love Facebook Audience Insights. But what it is when you go into LinkedIn, if you publish any posts, you can now see not just how many people have viewed that post, but who they are. I don't know if it gets as specific as names, but it'll tell you which organisations they work in. So this is kind of cool. It's only on mobile at the moment, although they're rolling it out to desktop. If you click me at the bottom of your LinkedIn profile on your mobile app, and then you can see who viewed posts and click the detail, and then there's a little kind of a little, what would you call it, like a little graph. If you click that, you can see, and so it'll tell you, you know, where people work or what sort of industry they're in. But what's really interesting, I found when I went here, is when you scroll up or down, when you scroll like that, you can see underneath where those people come from, whether it's your first connections or your second connections. And for me, the really interesting thing is most of the people that are viewing my LinkedIn updates are second level connections. It's huge. Why is that happening? Is it because I've got a number of people interacting with the posts itself? that's driving new people in? Is it because I share it out on Twitter? It's really interesting. So what I'm seeing there is a huge opportunity to grow my network. Oh my God, this is so cool. I was so excited, so excited. And again, this ties into something we talked about on our last Facebook Live. So exciting, because Prisma, that really cool app that you can get for your phone that turns pictures into kind of paintings, have just launched a Facebook Live product. So just looking at, Lottie has a show at 1:30 p.m. I think I'm going to be someone else. I'd love to come, but I think I'm going to be somewhere else. Sorry about that. Where was I? So Prisma is this amazing app, but now they are completely integrated into Facebook Live. If you have an iPhone 6 or above, you can actually go into Prisma, you set up your shot, you press the button to go live, it'll put an art filter on you and you send it to Facebook. So when I get this, I will be trying that out. And you know what that means? I need a new phone. I've finally got an excuse to get an iPhone 7. So here I come. Okay. You may, if you were here at the beginning, you may know what I'm going to do now. Bear with me. Snapchat spectacles are here. They're here. Well, they're not here. They're on Venice Beach, which is somewhere in America. But they've launched them. Snapchat spectacles are like Google Glass, but far cooler. What do you think? I think spectacles are going to be huge. I want a pair of spectacles. Now, the way they've launched it is what's exciting. If you don't know, they've got little video cameras. You can shoot 10-second video through them. They've got a really long battery life and they integrate at the moment just with Snapchat. Now, I can't see what I'm doing, so I have to take these off. But the launch has been really clever. So they had a vending machine for these, which is called a pod on Venice Beach, where you could go and buy your Snapchat glasses. They have a website called spectacles.com. If you go to spectacles.com, it'll tell you where that pod is going to move within 24 hours of it moving. So people are buying these like mad. And if you're on Snapchat, a special Geo filter will appear. It's not a pod, sorry, it's a bot. A bot. When a bot is nearby, you will see this Geo filter. And the price point is great. I am so getting these. This is what could get me back onto Snapchat again, because I kind of abandoned it. $129.99. Yes, that's, thanks for the link there. That's great. $129.99 plus tax. That's really affordable for a lot of people. I can see these going wild. I want them. I always wanted Google Glass and I could never afford those. So I'm kind of excited about this. I cannot, this is what I want for Christmas. Anyone, don't be buying one on eBay. You won't know it's real. I think it's really clever launch plan. There's a lot of buzz around this. Everyone wants their spectacles. Cool, huh? Those, by the way, are not spectacles. They're my festival shades, but they kind of look similar, which is weird. Okay, on to the final story, because I've only 2 minutes left and I had to fit in 2 weeks worth of stories, and this is cool. Do you use Instagram stories? Yes, I do. Oh, that looks kind of scary. Yes, I do. Instagram stories updated last week and they got some pretty cool updates. The first one, and I used this during the week when I was working with a blogger out in Cork, is that you can tag someone in your Instagram story. So you put in the @ symbol, start typing their name, you can choose it from an drop down menu, and you can put that as kind of text on your snap. If you click that, it goes through to that username. So that's actually a real way of linking it. When you do that on Snapchat, you just have to go remember it. Or this is where the QR code comes in handy, or the QR code. You can take a screen grab of the QR code and then go and follow them. I think this is kind of cool. The second thing that they introduced is boomerang. So now you can add a boomerang. I'll tell you what that is in a second in case you don't know, but you can add a boomerang to your Snap story. And Boomerang is an app from Instagram. You will need to have it on your phone for this to work. that kind of creates looping 3-second videos. So if I did this, for example, we could loop that and it kind of goes freaky and weird. Now you'd want to do something better than that, but you can actually integrate that straight into your story. You don't need to use the app. You can just click the boomerang button at the bottom of your Instagram stories. And the third one is getting all the praise from me. 1 second, my phone is telling me something. All the praise from me. It's getting a thumbs up and it's getting a love heart. Is that soon, everyone, I'm saying everyone, soon you will be able to link out of Instagram. Link out from a Snapchat story. At the moment they have introduced this, but it's just for verified users. This is the way Facebook roll things out. They introduce it for verified users first and then they throw it out to everyone. So you will soon be able to link out of your Instagram story to your website. Yay! And that's it for the social media news this week. If you enjoyed this episode, if you know somebody that you think would enjoy this episode, please click the share button and let them know about it. If you are a small business blogger, you can go over and join my small business blogging group on Facebook. Search for Small Business Bloggers Spiderworking and you'll find me. And so I'm just reading Lottie's comment. If you go over there now and you've written a blog post, or Lottie, if you've got a new YouTube video, you can share it in our comment thread and get extra comments on that and get extra readers. So that's the Small Business Bloggers group on Facebook. Until next week, which I'll be live from Kilkenny. Goodbye.